Here's Alliance versus Team Empire. As we see here, game number 1, best of 3. The winner will play Furzy, who currently is awaiting in the grand finals in a straight-up best of 5. So we got plenty of good Dota coming at you today.
We do. Great to see Furzy maintaining some strong, consistent results after qualifying for the major as the second CIS team after VP. I think there's always some, doubts that a team is going to qualify for a big event and then just drop off. So it's a good sign they might do well. As for Alliance, similar story. They qualified for the major and were the surprise team because they kind of took a slot that I imagine most people would have thought would have gone Liquid's way. But they have been on the up and up. They are looking like a scary team right now in the European region. This is a team that's dear to my heart. Not to make this cast about me by any means, but I have a lot of history with at least 4 of these 5 players, of course, for many years. So specifically that Insania Mickey combination, they've been together as far as play. It really does remind me of somewhat of a no-tail fly combination. These are players that they bonded very well together, even behind the scenes, great friends, at least, well, that's a little bit awkward to say now with the whole situation, but you get my point. It still stands as far as, being great teammates together for the longest time. You throw in Boxy and Taiga, and of course Koikva bringing his mastery to the table. It's not surprising for me personally to see them finally click and come together here, but I look forward what's ahead. Obviously, they have proven themselves, as you're getting at already, to the start of the season. But going up against Team Empire on the other side, who has definitely proven to be a solid roster to this season as well, it should be a good best of 3 at least. Yeah, I think so. I think it has the potential to be one-sided in Alliance's favor. I don't think it would go one side the other way, but you never really know. A lot of talent on this Empire team. Kuman's looked really good for them as kind of their big star player. They've got some new young blood in the support role, and it'll be interesting to see just how things pan out. And Empire have stuck to what's worked for them so far. This Magnus Windranger opening, they've been doing time and time again. They just really like it as a dual lane. And then they're going to pick a nice melee carry, this case the Troll Warlord, to partner up with the Magnus for the Empower. On the other side, though, we have a Broodmother opener. Yeah, we do. From Alliance. That's we've been seeing more and more of this recently. Again, it's been interesting to see this come into play, where the idea of like, you know what, we don't care if you try to even counter us, we're still going to roll you over with this hero. And Koikva, of course, going to be the one playing it on the side of Alliance. Crystal made a final pick by that. That's also something. Yeah, last pick for the support role. I guess they you get to that last 2 picks and you're picking back-to-back, so the Veno is as much a last pick as the CM is in a sense, I would say. I like the Veno pick a lot. It's good against these kind of blink-initiating lineups, like the Magnus. Just putting Plague Wards on them can be so annoying. Kiting Troll, it's kind of like not quite to the level of Sven where you get kited, but it's pretty close. And a hero like Veno can be very annoying for Troll to play into. So not going to be an easy game for Kuman by any means. As for some of these last picks, Mirana, pretty stable mid. I don't know if it's going to necessarily be in the mid lane, though, because they don't have an obvious Brood solution right now with their draft. Yeah, that's all right. I like it. Wow. Yeah, we got a groove going on. I love the theme of this event, man. Yeah, we're heading up the beach or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's great. It's pretty fun. It's definitely got a good vibe going to it. The DJs every day that they've had. It's been fun to watch. Versus my first cast here for this event, but I've been on the sidelines watching several matches throughout, and I've enjoyed the CDC right there. The what they're dealing with, the whole flamingos on their desk and everything. It's been why don't we have palm trees here, man? We do. They're outside, I guess you do technically. I actually got them outside. Actually got the beach right outside. That's a good point. Yeah. This is Southern California. They're in Kiev. You have to go pretty far to get to the beach from Kiev. Especially at this time of year. It's probably not too pleasant. It's getting a little colder over there, yes. So they'll bring the beach into sight. Crystal Maiden headed towards the bottom with Ursa, it looks like. Boxy. I believe you might want to mute on the computer over there, the Discord. That is what's beeping in ours and everyone's ears. You can just log out or whatever. Apologies. Apologies, everyone. I left it open. I'm beeping noises at you. But we'll get this game underway as Alliance taking on Empire. This is game 1 of the best of 3. Winner will go into the grand finals. There we go. Breaky solves. He cleans up. I took care of it. Yeah. Got these issues figured out. Again, this is, first best of 3, and then we go into a best of 5 after this with the winning team to place Furzy, as we were mentioning. So
Bounty Rune congestion to kick things off. You got the bottom lane. It's Ursa gonna zone out the Wind Ranger there, and he's picking up for himself. See, at the top lane, also some Bounty Rune fighting happening. Would have ended up being a 2-for-2, I believe. Yeah, between the teams. So
we've got some fun, aggressive heroes here in the early game. We've got Undyings coming into play. We've got Earth Spirit making an appearance. Even this Magnus Wind Ranger lane, very aggressive, strong dual lane. They're going to send actually Magnus mid, so this is going to be the change-up. Normally Miposhka plays the off lane with the Wind Ranger, but because of the Brood matchup, they're going to send Mag as the Brood Solver to the mid lane. I don't know how much of a solution this is really going to be, though.
I suppose with the Empower and the Shockwave, you know, the ideally he'll be able to clean up those patterns. But as I've said before, I mean, we've even seen like Earthshakers in this matchup where the idea on paper is supposed to be very good. But Broodmother, especially in that middle lane, has so much room to work with. She can go to the jungle easily. She can do Ancients, you know, when she eventually gets enough levels, which is not too long into the game. It's just, you're not truly going to stop the Brood. It's just how much can you keep it in check, more so. So I'm sure off to a good start already, but you look at all three lanes, how it's shaping up. As mentioned, Kuman, they're on the Troll at the top lane. That kind of classic Troll-Magnus combo with the Empower buff, but see if it's able to pay off in the end. Yeah, they sent Ursa, by the way, being played by Boxy, technically more of their off-lane player. As you see him at the bottom lane, though.
Yeah,
in this case.
I think he is. They're doing this just for the lane matchups. They felt like Ursa is just going to fare better down there, and I think Veno and Ursa are pretty interchangeable as far as, you know, who's really the 3 position or 1 position. They're both side lane cores that will get some farm, but not be like super hard carries. This is like a game where there's going to be a lot of farm parity on all 3 of Alliance's cores, rather than like this hierarchy where you prioritize a 1, a 2, and then a 3.
Yeah. I'll spread across the board here. So Undying's going to rotate around at the top lane, but right now you look at Magnus, he's 12-4 against the Brood, who's 4-0. So early, it's actually a pretty good start.
Oh, for sure. And this is, I think, Brood in a lot of matchups, though, but we'll see if it stays that way. It definitely can be a good matchup for the Magnus. Having Shockwave and Empower gives him plenty of solutions. Top lane Taiga in a bit of trouble here, but should have the roll if he needs it to escape.
Madden, he's trying to escape himself on that Undying. Making it through the trees for the time being. The Venomous Skill to slow, though. Obviously, a very powerful one at that time. Going to throw out the Boulder Smash. Could be in a lot of trouble. Rolling Axis coming out, still in pursuit. There's Rolling Axis in the face now of Taiga. He has to get knocked and body blocked by his teammate, which eventually makes his way around. Mickey still insisting on chasing. As, it's going to be a first blood elsewhere. It looks like Ursa does go down at the bottom lane while that whole fight was happening at the top lane. So you think maybe first blood top? No, it's Ursa goes down. That's not the bottom.
Looked like almost a certain kill coming in that top lane, but we'll get a chance to see it here. Boxy went aggressive into the win run, and nice arrow.
Yeah, the arrow connected. The shackle shot not necessarily, but the arrow. So it does him in.
Yep.
Diane's going to walk over.
Maiden is just going to go and deny himself.
Okay.
That's not his base.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to Fountain. Well, he is.
In a sense, he is. Get in there quickly.
Yep. He doesn't want any, suicide to Newt's a bit slow. By the time you walk to that tier 2 tower, I feel like you could have almost suicide to Newt's, and it costs you maybe an extra 10-15 seconds with the respawn time, but...
Oh. Wow, Chappie almost gets shredded right there. Managed to leap at the last second, though. That was a very close call. Those Fury Swipes add up damn fast, as we all know. But Ursa is having some very good CS despite that death. Obviously, he overplayed there a little bit. Right now, though, he has 21-3 here at the bottom lane, so it seems like Boxy is off to a fantastic start. What do we expect to see out of Boxy? I mean, it probably is pretty routine, right, with the Ursa. Maybe get that lifesteal initially with the Morbid Mask, but then the Blink Dagger after.
Yep. Mask, Blink, Basher. Sometimes you see people skipping the Mask. It's not like as essential of an item. The Basher's very good this game. Against these like ranged heroes like Wind Ranger and Mirana, you want to blink on them and just start overpowering hitting them and hope for an insta bash so they can't wind run away, they can't leap. If you get a bash in your first hit or two, they're not going to be able to react.
Yeah.
You can get those kind of solo kills. So imagine, phase boots, and then we'll see if he gets the mask or not.
I suppose the Morbid Mask is a determination of how early you truly want to do Roshan. because it obviously helps secure that. He doesn't absolutely need it, but it definitely helps make sure.
For sure. It's kind of like I think in pro games you see it less than pubs, because in pubs it's like Ursa always wants to solo Rosh. In pro games you'll find openings to take Rosh where you have like a Brood with you who can tank Roshan, and then Ursa you don't need a master Roshan if you have a teammate there. So it can definitely differ, but Mask is a very value item.
5-minute bounty runes, 3 for 1 in favor of Alliance, so get the better of the bounty rune situation right there. The first one's to spawn since the beginning of the game.
Yep. Things pretty calm and settled here in the laning stages. Brood's now started to farm behind the enemy tier 1 mid tower. So he's just cutting the creep wave and then accessing the enemy jungle to just maximize his farm. So he's farming more than just the creeps, he's farming the jungle, while Magnus is only farming the creeps. So at this point, Brood is essentially out-farming Magnus to a certain extent, at least.
So the Venomancer there a little bit. Veno's definitely a hero that can build a variety. Unlike the Ursa, he's more typical, but could go multiple directions. Hold that thought, though, because bottom lane. See Boxy charging in, going for both, but they both have that mobility. You see right there, the leap as well as the wind run to get away, pending the freeze, of course, from Crystal Maiden to keep them in place close enough. So, but yeah, Venomancer, again, being played by Mickey, technically more of their core player, but like you said, really all 3 cores spreading some love here. What type of build would you expect to see on him in this game?
Probably a Treads Bassi or Treads Aquila into Hurricane Pike, I think, is going to be the item he wants.
Okay.
Just having that 4-star push against a hero like Troll. We talked about the kiting during the draft that Veno poses a big threat to the Troll with, and I think Hurricane Pike is the best way to do that. Other than that, sometimes you see like casual veils and things, but I don't think that's a essential item. It's got the treads queued up for now. I think I think just straight Hurricane Pike sounds great to me.
Yeah, as I also call it too, we could also see maybe potentially that kind of dive bomb build where you get that blink the Ags combination and you're just all about jumping in, popping the ultimate, doing as much damage as possible to everyone in those fights. Not saying that we're going to see that here, but it's kind of another route, of course, you could take.
Yeah, this is a decent Ags game. You're looking at a lineup that's going to be very just annoyed by it, doesn't have good kind of heal and sustain against it. So definitely some value to be had there.
Let the poison tick them down and let Ursa or Broodmother finish them off.
Earth Spirit is taking it out though.
Yeah, that's going to be a kill on Undying. How about that? Taiga just in the face of Undying, and that really just simply, I mean, almost wouldn't expect it to happen, but that's a solo kill.
Walked up, hit a roll, hit a stun, some right clicks. There wasn't much to it, but Undying, I guess, thought he was just a bit tankier or was going to survive his way through that one, and that was not the case.
Magnus, if I saw that correctly, I believe he has the double stout shield here in the middle lane. That's not something we see too often, as Boxy again goes down here at the bottom lane. Seems like this bottom is interesting because they keep trying to go for kills themselves, and another case, though, they're going to be turned. In fact, they both lose their lives in both Insania and Boxy.
Yeah, these kills just going Empire's way in the bottom lane. They're playing it so well with the shackle shots, the arrows. They're landing these tough skill shots. Not often you see all these arrows just securing kills in the lane stage, but that's exactly what Empire have done. And having 2 early points in shackle shots, Seiyu has been fantastic. He's an incredibly good win ranger player. He's just been spamming this hero all tournament long from what I've been seeing, and having a lot of success on the hero.
Like the support win ranges. So yeah, back to Magnus though, the double stout shield. Again, not something we see very often. Maybe Axe comes to mind as potentially we see it on, but
it's, like you say, it's good on the Axe when you're creep cutting waves, and it's probably good against Spiderlings. Just get that guaranteed damage block, considering you're blocking, I imagine, like almost all the Spiderling damage with the damage. Since they only do 15, it basically turns it from 50% up to 75%, so why not?
Now, those last hits and denies can be a little deceptive. Remember, a lot of those are Spiderlings, and in fact, when they switch over to the net worth, I'm checking myself, Broodmother is winning right now as far as net worth goes, around 4,600 compared to the 4,200 of Magnus. So Magnus is still accomplishing a good job, but this goes back to the point. I mean, no matter what you really do against this hero, Brood naturally will find her farm. Quakefo's doing a fantastic job of that. He's level 10 now on top of that, and currently kind of just farming between the 2 towers / that triangle of jungle.
Yeah, well, Dire have blocked their own triangle here. They've blocked the Ancients, they've blocked the medium camp. Quakefo's trying to find these wards. He's like, where are these Ancients? I want to farm these. What's going on?
Okay, he's going to take, eventually we'll get them out perhaps, but as Seu, he does go down bottom. Boxy gets some revenge.
Yeah, Boxy's died a few times, but he's actually having a very strong laning stage. Like, he's farming well, he's getting his levels. I don't think he's going to be too worried. He's seeing his team get some good kills, and hey, Brood rotates down bottom to help him out as well, so he gets some revenge onto Chappie.
Yeah, that bottom, plenty of action down there, back and forth, but RP is going to be used. Taiga, that's a support Earth Spirit, and RP just simply to go get a bounty rune. That's essentially what we just saw right there from the Poshka.
You don't normally see these RPs used in the first 15-20 minutes anyways. I guess he could theoretically he has enough money for a Blink Dagger.
Yeah.
I don't actually know if he wants to go Blink. It's just so early to be picking a Blink up that it just doesn't seem super value. Like, you could consider something like a Midas even. It's greedy, but it could work. Otherwise, you could look at like just going straight into a tanky item like a Vanguard. That's something that some of these Magnus players are doing, a Mech, a Greaves. These kind of builds. Vanguard
makes a lot of sense to me, especially against the Brood. I mean, talk about the double stout shot already as Chappie once again will fall. They really are just in a heavyweight fight down here, back and forth. But Boxy having the better of that exchange at least. Sitting in the middle of the pack right now. He's buying several of the other cores, but it's not like Mirana's doing much better. She's, in fact, below the Ursa at this point. So I suppose you could say Ursa ultimately is winning the lane despite really neither core getting the best farm at that bottom.
Yeah, and Ursa just had the better farm and got the more recent kills. The later on you're getting your kills, the better it is, the more gold you're getting from them. And that's where, his game's looking a whole lot better. So we'll see Brood now. Really want to take this tier 1 mid tower. It's a whole lot easier to farm in jungle. Splitting his spiderlings up very well.
Yeah, that's what you like to see, from those good Broodmother players. In fact, Crewman didn't even stand a chance. He went in, immediately got taken out, but Poshka's also going to fall. That's a double kill already for Koikva. It's going to be 3 kills at this rate. Yeah, puts the medallion up. That's a triple kill for Broodmother. Obviously, great assistance from both Venomancer and the Earth Spirit, but that is the last thing you need to be doing if you're Team Empire, giving 3 hero kills, including both of your top 2 net with yourself in the Troll and the Magnus. And, oh, by the way, the mid-tier 1. That could not have gone any worse, it feels like. And all of a sudden, we're looking at a 6,000 net worth lead in favor of Alliance.
Yeah, it felt like the game was not in a good place for them, but it was, like, recoverable.
Manageable.
You've got this in power. Magnus is farming. Troll's farming. The game was in an okay-ish position, and then that happened, and it's like, oh, we're kind of screwed. Not you haven't lost yet, but you put yourself definitely on the back foot.
Yeah.
They are looking to change that with this smoke gank around the mid lane. Magnus has gone for the fast blink, so we'll see if he can actually latch on and find the Brood. The Brood's the big kill they want, but not sure they're going to be able to get it.
Yeah, in hindsight, I mean, thinking about that fight right there, it's like, what was Empire hoping to accomplish? Really, they were hoping that the supports wouldn't be there is the biggest thing, because they brought a Troll and a Magnus with no RP, I don't even think at that point. I think it just came up after. Speaking of RP, he's going to use it right here. This is more like it. Broodmother gets skewered in, and there you go. That's what Empire was hoping for. Just a matter of executing correctly, and now Brood is going to be dead for the next 40 seconds. So, obviously, signs of hope here for Empire, but it's still, after what happened previously, they're going to need several more of that before they can feel truly good about where they're at right now in this game.
Yeah, like the 1 RP to kill a Brood is nice, but it's not going to change the game on its own. You've got to turn that into follow-up kills, into objectives. You can't just get a single kill every 2 minutes with your RP. You got to get more than that.
Or a bounty rune. We saw early.
They've at least gotten improved their RP success rate since then.
Yeah. Venomancer does have the Forest Staff queued up, in fact, almost finished. So, as you're pointing out earlier, perhaps that Hurricane Pike in full we could be seeing right here. Checking on Ursa's items. How about this? I was talking about Vanguard. I mean, Ursa is the one that builds a Vanguard. That is not your usual, as, Chappie goes down to Taiga.
Oh, that was top lane. Yeah, he used the Magnetize to just went in. It was pretty much a solo kill. Mickey, I think, shows up. I actually don't know. I'm not sure if he did any damage there. We'll get a look. We'll get an idea of it. So he's already incredibly low. Magnetize. It's actually a solo kill. I mean, Venner comes in with a Gale, but he can actually get that kill on his own with maybe another rock to refresh the Magnetize. Very well played. His Earth Spirit's great. I love watching Alliance play Earth Spirit just because of how well Taiga plays this hero.
Yeah. It's really kind of a couple of solo kills. Remember on dying earlier, he essentially got the solo kill on him. So, but back to the Vanguard on Ursa.
On Ursa, yeah. He just wants that survivability early on, I guess. This is... I think fine. It's kind of a more expensive version of a Mask of the lifesteal. Not the Mask of Madness, but just the casual Mask. So we'll see how it works out for him. It's going to make him a lot harder to kill, which is going to be tested because game coming bottom lane.
Oh, they're going to take out Crystal Maiden. Boxy, that Vanguard, that's not saving him there.
That's an RP.
Too much being used. The RP, Troll with that Empower beating into him, and of course Mirana, or I think that was Wind Ranger actually, nearby on top of that. So, yeah, an eventual Crimson Guard, I always like to look for that too, as far as is it good this game, and against Empire's lineup, it does feel pretty good, so I wonder if Boxy's thinking that route as well.
Yeah, certainly. It's going to help a decent amount against the Troll and his damage output, as that Troll looking to farm up. Yasha, BKB, pretty standard Troll stuff, wants this T1 tower, and he'll get it. Nicely done by Kuman.
But at what cost here? Venomancer coming in, Gale's put up. Taiga, great combination. Both the Boulder Smash and the Silence Connect on both heroes. Kuman, he's just hits for the kill. At this point, he's almost accepting death, it feels like.
Yeah, the Veno didn't quite manage to juke there. He could have kept running and kiting, but he... Normally that one Plague Ward will block the entrance into those trees, but he actually chopped down a tree down there, so he made his way through, gets the Veno kill. Ultimately, still fine for Alliance. They get 2 decent kills, trading Veno's life for it, but ultimately they would have preferred EFB.
Yeah, I'm looking also at how much gold was given. 658 gold going to Troll for that kill. That's a pretty significant amount of gold.
Yeah.
This early on, actually, so... yeah, I still don't. Sometimes I see those numbers pop up, and it's like, how did that happen? How did he get that much gold? But the game suggests he deserves it. Boxy, here comes the solo Roshan from Ursa. He's got an Arcane Rune even to help out, and with the Vanguard, he should be able to do it just fine eventually.
Nice little rune to have.
Shown right there, and that will be an Aegis for him. Taiga. This is a farmed Earth Spirit early on, by the way. He's level 12 on top of that, but he's not unkillable. That almost felt like one of those cases where, hey, I'm level 12 as an Earth Spirit. I'm pretty farmed. Let me go check things out here. I'm feeling pretty ballsy. Oh, I'm dead.
And because of how farmed he is, he gives up a 400 gold streak there. So decent chunk of cash going Empire's way. Still a 6k gold lead, but given that Alliance took Roshan, had an edge, I feel like this should be more like a 10k plus gold lead. They've just... made a few slightly sloppy plays where they got picked off, but ultimately still in a decent place. Brood farming well, working on that BKB. I don't think Alliance are too concerned right now.
How important is that BKB this game, though? Because, where you talked about, there is plenty of physical damage coming out from Empire, so the BKB on Broodmother, is it still going to be a useful tool that'll make her, unstoppable of sorts, or is it really not that good, you think?
It's necessary. We're seeing these fights happen where shackle shots and Mirana arrows are just locking people in place, but it'll mean when like an RP is used or down, you can do a whole lot, and Brood is very mobile, so getting a good RP off is going to be difficult, particularly when there's a Venomancer in the game. So given that it's just RP and then Troll right-clicks to worry about, it's a great item. And the BKB helps even against the Troll in a sense because you get rid of the Whirling Axe's mischance, which is 60%. So if you're fighting a Troll head-on, yeah, he's a Troll with Battle Trance and Bashes, but Brood's probably one of the few heroes that actually matches up not too bad there because of the Insatiable Hunger lifesteal.
And his own passive with that incapacitating bite there, so definitely something to look out for moving forward. And another Blink Dagger, by the way, picked up. Ursa does get his. We saw Taiga having his earlier because of his farm, and they're engaging bottom lane. Wind Ranger going to be caught. Great Taiga initiation once again with a Boulder Smash. A little easier with the Blink Dagger, of course. However, Troll, he does not want to give this up. He pops that PKP. The Poison Nova essentially going to do nothing now. Mickey just simply on the run. No Bash Procs coming out just yet, however, and Mickey will survive because of that. The Dota gods in his favor. Back lane, we see the RP used just on Taiga, it looks like. However, they are going to kill him. They also killed the Crystal Maiden. So both sides losing 2 so far. We're not done just yet, though. They go for the kill for Broodmother. Insatiable Hunger, not enough to heal him up, though. He falls. And all of a sudden, it's just Ursa that's alive. Venomancer was eventually found back there. Boxy coming back up. He's dead, though. And that's Empire cleaning up Alliance. A triple kill for Kuman throughout. How did that go so well?
Kuman, what a beast on this Troll. He did 5,000 damage out of a total 9,000. That was all Troll. He was just in there bashing people, getting... He didn't even get amazing value out of his BKB. He was chasing the Veno with it and got kited and then turned around. Like, his BKB was kind of wasted, but he still found a way to get those kills. He got a chance to just hold his ground and fight into a Brood without getting the mischance on himself. And it was just a great fight for him. And with the Empower, he just does too much damage.
That's something, that's like a taste of what's to come, perhaps, for Alliance. So Alliance, I'm sure, has to be a little bit concerned after that took place. Bottom lane, Battle Trance activated, going in on Mickey once again. This Venomancer, that BKB, man. We talked about the possibilities for Broodmother, but for Troll, it is clearly proving to be a powerful item that he has. Now it's not done just yet, though. The Whirling Axe, isn't enough dodge? It's absolutely not. He eventually will go down to Boxy, shredding into him, and they do get the kill on Undying on top of that. On the tombstone after the fact. So going too deep there from Kuman, and he gives about 500 or so gold to the way of Boxy. Here in Ursa, that's the last thing, again, you can't be doing if you're Empire is, you know, getting a bit ahead of yourself now after a great fight, dying shortly after Patrol.
Yeah, and his BKB charges are quite precious this game. It's already down to 8 seconds with 2 quick usage. It does swing the game a little bit closer and more so even than it was before, so I think he's not too unhappy about how it was used overall, but once that gets down to 5 seconds, this game gets pretty tricky for the Troll Warlord.
And you got the map opening up once again for Alliance, see them pushing out quite effectively. Their vision game also pretty strong. They got both wards in both jungles. Looking at the vision of Empire, not as strong. They do got a pretty aggressive ward themselves, but somewhat defensive, it seems like, for the time being. How about that? The odds shifting in favor of Empire. Interesting right now. I don't know if I would necessarily think that's the case personally. I mean, it's still a 3,000 net worth lead for Alliance. Yes, what we saw in that earlier fight is this taste of things to come, but I think you made a great point about the BKB, honestly, on Troll, and how that is starting to wear down now. I mean, it's down to 8 seconds, I believe, but still, the earlier use of those chargers, less effective it's going to be throughout the later game, of course.
Yeah, I imagine Dota Plus just really likes Empire's draft. They probably, you know, ran the win rates of like Mag and Troll and has really high win rate, and they're like, let's back this. This wins games.
Ursa, back Alliance, going for the kill, but win run's pretty good against him. Cannot make it happen as a result. As Maiden, he's in no man's land. Off that flash goal on the rip heel, eventually going to be killed off though. Just delaying what seemed to be the inevitable. So a bit of a scattered fight here in the middle lane. They only lose Undying, I suppose, but it's almost odd, like where Alliance themselves, they were kind of trying to figure out what was going on.
Yeah, and they actually, Troll used a BKB there too, so he's down to 7 seconds now. That was just to run away, it wasn't to fight. Wasn't to get any kills, and it's going to limit their ability to defend this mid tier 2 tower. They'll probably be a lot more hesitant to take a fight now that Troll's BKB is down. So this looks like a free tier 2 for Alliance.
And, you know, a big item that I feel like is coming as well, Mickey and Venomancer. He's going the Heaven's Halberd on top of the 4-step that he went early, and that gets, speaking of Troll, talk about a good counter against him.
Absolutely, this is a very strong item to have this game. The evasion's pretty annoying to play against as well for Wind Ranger, Troll, and Mirana. So definitely a good item that will tank him up and give him some added utility to deal with Troll Warlord. As Alliance are getting a lot better control now. They're farming the enemy jungle, they're playing in their side of the map, and they're just taking more resources on the map.
I'm not sure who's... Oh, that was Mirana's ultimate orb, by the way, on that Dire Courier. So her Manta style is now delayed by 2.5 minutes, almost 3 minutes at the beginning there, because of that. So that was Broodmother taking it out. Very good find from QuakeFuck. And delaying that momentum chance. And speaking of Mirana, I was going to bring her up too. Speaking of her, she's in trouble.
Oh, Chappie. Yeah,
you're dead. Just pretty much accepting at that point. Mirana's impact has been very not, that noticeable, and maybe you can put it.
Yeah, it was the tough lane at the start, and the end result is that this Mirana has not had that much farm. The Yasha build isn't bad by any means, but it's a slow build. You're not actually ramping up your farm like the Maelstrom.
Spot him. Troll's going to push that tier 2. However, oh, look up here, Miposhka. He gets found, skewers away, but that's just going to lead to his death. And now Troll having to back off, so the rest of them. Maiden's going to simply try to TP out, and it will be successful. Making use of, I believe that was not a Glimmer Kit, but either way, he does get out. Almost looked like one for a second. Going the Glimmer Cape, though, on Dying. But, yeah, losing that Magnus, who's speaking of another hero that's definitely tapered off quite a bit. I mean, this was the top farm of the game early on, competing decent against the Broodmother. He is all the way down there at only 7,600 net worth now.
Yeah, that's kind of why I thought he might consider something like a Midas when he had 2.3k gold very early on from his farm, because Magnus is going to be a hero that isn't going to be farming lanes and keeping up. You often want to play off-map, looking for blink RPs. You want to just be sitting behind your troll, empowering him. So Midas kind of helps maintain your farm and your level growth, whereas the playstyle of Empire kind of encourages him not to farm, not to get levels, which is, you know, how he needs to play, and that's where the Midas pickup would have been really nice this game.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, Midas also is an item that just feels kind of lousy at the moment, so I don't really blame him for not getting it.
And not something we see really picked up at all. You know, maybe the occasional, like an Enigma comes to mind, Invokers perhaps still somewhat, but yeah, not the most popular item in the meta at this point. Ursa does have a Basher finished, of course, and naturally the Abyssal Blade follow-up. You know, already that's something else, you know, with the Vanguard. That goes back to him getting that earlier, of course, so just naturally hoping to build in.
Some good discipline from Kuman there in mid. Pops his Manton on his BKB, so keeps the longer duration and the cooldown. If he pops it there, Alliance can just go straight into taking a fight or taking a Roshan, for example. Although Rosh not up, but you've got to be very careful about how you use BKB, because it's become very clear that Alliance are just trying to force it out early on in the fight. Like, Earthspirit's just blinking in and throwing spells towards the troll, trying to scare him into BKB. Because there's always this threat, you know, if you don't BKB and you get hit by that Boulder Smash, maybe there's an Ursa following it up with a Blink Abyssal Blade. Maybe you get bursted before you can even pop it, so yeah. Often the case with BKBs is that you just use it the second there's like a stun hero that's in range of you.
The world of Dota right there. Beautiful shot as we're in this pause. Hopefully not too long of a break. But again, game number 1 of this best of 3 lower finals. The winner plays Furzy later on in a best of 5 grand finals here for the Reshuffle Madness $50,000 tournament. All right, here we go again. Speaking of bigger item pickups, you got the Satanic just finished there on Troll, so happy to have that.
Hey, he's big. He's the guy you look to if you're Empire to carry this game. It really is Troll versus the world. Found
smoke
their way into the enemy jungle.
Wrapping around the 4 heroes. You know, that middle lane, I believe that might be Wind Ranger still there. It looks like, so trying to be a distraction, if anything, not allow Alliance to guess what's going on. But the positioning of Alliance suggests they know something's up at least. I don't know if they spotted it or just simply picking up on that information, but either way, Magnus, of course, in front has that RP ready to go. They're going to arrow through again. No Roshan yet. Almost suspecting that it could have been happening. Middle lane, meanwhile, that's a kill on Wind Ranger. She buys back, though. Fight breaking out. Whirling Axe is going to be pop on top of Venomancer. He used the Poison Nova, hitting multiple heroes. The BKB from Kuman, eventually going to be run off pretty quickly. It's a spread fight right now. Empire getting fairly spread out. You see Venomancer buying back even for this, as Insania goes down to the Troll, but in the background you see Mirana being taken out by Brood, and several others, including that Ursa, who again has that Abyssal Blade. Mickey finding himself back in. There's a buyback from Mirana this time. The RP comes out, lock it down with the BKB activated though from the Broodmother, but Quick was being beat down by Kuman with an Empower buff. You see the power of Troll. If they get on top of each other like that with an RP, and with that Empower, the cleave, holy crap, that damage.
Yeah, and that's where, yeah, this Troll build really just pays off, having the Satanic to heal himself back up. So when he's fighting the Brood head on, you actually can't win that fight as the Brood with the Satanic in play. He got stunned up, Troll's like on a 20% HP, heals himself back to full, fight's over at that point, and unfortunately for Alliance, they're fully committed. They're all engaged, the Ursa's in there, the Venom's in there, they couldn't all just back off all of a sudden, so yeah, it's Empire winning that big team fight. This is why Dota Plus backed their lineup. They just have such a scary team fight, where RP doesn't need to hit 4 or 5 heroes, it just needs to hit 1 or 2. Catch a Brood, you're happy. Give Troll a kill or 2 to get him started in a team fight.
Yeah, that's been the interesting thing about Troll. Again, I made the observation the other day how been seeing a lot of these Trolls, maybe not to most success. The biggest fault is that he gets kited so easily in a lot of these games. But we see right there, as you're even pointing out, you know, an RP was also very nice, of course, for making sure that happened. You talk about one of the better abilities to just keep multiple heroes in place. But you have a Brood, you have an Ursa, you have these heroes that are kind of running at you anyways already, wanting to combat, that it allows Troll to be that much more effective and get those bash procs ideally as a result. And of course the Empower buff, you know, as we keep going back to, that no doubt is having the impact. So the draft really has come together for Empire.
Yeah, Empower's a pretty good spell for certain heroes like Troll. I think that Alliance could have banned out. They sold the Magnus in the first 2 and did not address the potential troll. I believe they banned some of those other melee hero partners.
Yeah, I was trying to remember which ones exactly, to be honest, but in hindsight, I'm sure troll would have been one that they would have liked to ban. Game is still not over yet, that's for sure. It's a 4,000 net worth lead, but that is a set of racks destroyed by Empire. So they have that going. Again, this is your classic game where you have they truly one carry strategy on one side and then the 3 cores on the other side, right? Where I suppose Murata is starting to build up, though, throughout the game, and maybe we'll see that impact from Chappie throughout.
But like the game plan was very much for Alliance to have 3 equal cores and Empire to have 1. Even though, because the game's now going well, Mirana is on par with the Radiant cores. But if this game was when it was on more even footing, it was the Troll #1 and then 2, 3, 4, well ahead of Mirana was the Alliance cores. But now they find the game not going all too well, and Empire, what's their next big move going to be? With Aegis in hand, it feels like they will want to make a play.
I also like the Guardian Greaves pick up there on Magnus. Again, not an item maybe we see too often, but getting it this time around, nice Dispel and just good heal for the team. That's Chappie dead. Boxy again gets that bash proc off the pattern, as we know with Ursa. That can do you in. Mickey going down elsewhere, so an eye for an eye, they say, as Mirana exchanges lives with Venomancer. And we're still not done just yet, apparently. Koikva, well, at least he's hanging around. He's not going to find any kind of opening, though.
I'm not sure he can do all too much here. He needs to avoid the troll. I think that's just a hero at this point that Brood has no chance at fighting. More likely we'll see Koikva try and go on the Undying or the Wind Ranger.
Undying is 15 now, or more so 17, but of course that 15 talent has that tombstone on death, so worth keeping in mind. But the push is real. Kuman, he ain't being stopped right now. He has an Aegis, so he's feeling pretty good about his chances. This is going to be locked down, but the played RP in response, though. They lose Crystal Maiden off the bat, and now Boxy, the rolling axe is being popped. Kuman heals up with the Satanic. Not enough for the kill initially, kind of going back and forth with one another, and they do indeed kill the Troll, so that will be the Aegis. Use Koikva trying to clean up the supporting cast, but you look at Empire just simply running away. Glimmer keeps coming out, etc., and now Kuman, he's focused firing that Brood, and with the BKB wearing off, Brood is a bit more vulnerable in terms of initiating.
And they get this Rax. It doesn't look like they'll be able to get it right away. They need to win this fight first, and without Troll's BKB, that's going to be quite difficult to do.
The Boulder Smash going through Boxy, hoping for that bash. He eventually gets it. Taiga, another great Boulder Smash on 2. They kill the Troll. And so far, looking good for Alliance now. Maposhka, Forest Staff, only going to get him so far. He's dead. They'll roll in. They're going to catch up to Undying, and it's just going to be one after one now. So not only does Alliance hold the Rax. Ooh, no bash proc. That was close. But either way, even without that kill, they are very pleased with the outcome. I would assume you see the bottom pushing in a little bit, but yeah, saving melee Rax, killing 3, including Troll. That's Alliance sticking into this game, that's for sure.
Yeah, they say we're not out of this one yet. They may not have the best late game, but they can still put together some nice team fights and just focusing the right targets, prioritizing who to kill at the right time, and kiting this Troll BKB. We've seen this a few times now. It's fully down to the minimum 5 seconds, and that's going to cause Troll issues as this game goes on.
Well, you also see the opening. As big and great as RP is, once that's on cooldown, if you have heroes up like that for Alliance, obviously you're a lot more ambitious to make the jump in the first place then. And, you know, they jumped on a Troll knowing that they had a pretty safe jump. They got the bash up the bat of Blade, I guess, helped too. So, but this fight continues into the base. Undying's already fought back, and it's Alliance turn to push, apparently. You see
Troll.
the back lines, they pick off Winter Ranger.
Oh. Troll just does not want to buy back.
No.
He has it, and he's just like, team, just delay them or, you know, give up a Rax. We're at this stage of the game where a buyback can be more important than a Rax.
Yeah.
If it's your first Rax being lost, just, you know.
Just don't die, please. Oh, Chappie goes down. Here comes a
ball.
Oh, big RP, but there's no Troll up. There's no follow-up. They're freezing field from Insane. Going to be casting out. Multiple players are low, but they pick up Undying on top of that. And Troll is now back up, but will he be able to clean up? He does kill Venomancer. Boxy going to go at him once again. The bash proc coming out. Brood running back in. Do they want this kill? The Frostbite on top of that. Kuman goes down. He's dead for 95 seconds. No buyback. Alliance might have just broken through themselves, and talk about a comeback.
They were down and out. Dota Plus had him at like 1% or 2%
no.
or something. Dota Plus is like, Alliance, GG, you're not back. Go home. And Alliance, you know, they disagree. They disagree vehemently as they have just taken mid. And they're going for top. They just get kill after kill. No one has buyback, or they do have some buyback, but not enough. And it just feels like a very sloppy ending to an Empire Game 1 where they gave away a few too many unnecessary deaths, and Alliance just so good at capitalizing. They recognize those mistakes and punish. And
I think that's your case of holding by Alliance. That's one thing. That was well played by them, the initiation, the back and forth. They got those kills as a result. Now, sure, you know, there's still Empire with the lead, as we're not done just yet. Great skewer there. You see the extra range. Koikba is caught, and Wind Ranger in pursuit, but again, without Troll, talk about losing out on a lot of their damage. They can't finish the job. They're trying to take out Boxy, but Boxy's just kind of distracting him. The Rage is turning back. Gank over the bash. Nope, he gets taken out himself. Frostbite, however, hit the illusion, I believe, as he popped that Manta Stealth, catching Insanity off guard. So they lose Ursa. Talk about losing 1-by-1. Now it's Empire's turn, apparently, to do that for Alliance, as they're going to pick off a couple. I still think Alliance is overall pleased with the outcome, of course. But yeah, back to the point. At the base, however, again, the lack of buying back from Troll, the kind of dying 1-by-1, that was really just more sloppiness from Empire, it felt like, and a bit of a situation where they feel bad about what they did, obviously. And now they're down. They're back once again, a 3,000 net worth lead for Alliance. This is a game of swings, man. Oh, yeah, and it's definitely not over. As much as it was a great comeback for Alliance, this game is still far from in the bag for either team at this point, with both teams being down lanes of racks. 3 racks in total down on both sides, in fact, as I believe it is range racks on one side and a melee on the other. So ever so slight advantage for Alliance in the barracks department. Now, level 25 Troll is always interesting to me. I've seen cases of the Battle Trance Dispel being picked up in certain matchups and stuff. This game, though, I believe, he did go the Whirling Axes. It is a lot of value this game, as we've already talked about. Yeah, you're getting rid of Frostbite and Venomous Gale, I guess. That's about it. So Gale can't even be Dispelled anymore, right? The Gale can, the Poison Nova can. Oh, okay, okay. I'm pretty sure. Gale, either way. Gale is dispelled. This game, it's just not that effective is what you're getting at. Yeah, for sure. And the Whirling Axe cooldown's really nice. I'm surprised you didn't get the Whirling Axe's damage at level 15. I think the +3 max fervor stack sounds amazing because you're like, I'm a right-click carry, I want to get this 10 max stacks, but how many times in this game is he going to get up to 10 stacks when he's not hitting Roshan? I don't think many. The Ursa, the Brood, he's going to kill in less than 10 right-clicks most of the time, if he's empowered. But ultimately not the end of the world. It's a small damage boost to the axes. Yeah, losing a little bit of damage, but really is that +75 going to make the massive difference? It's very nice for your farm speed because it's you have 2 axes that you can cast, so it's a bonus damage on both of them. But here we go, River Road standoff coming out. Both teams know and understand it is up and it is time to go. Obviously, RP's ready. That's been the big tool of this game. It's a matter of can Miposhka land it yet again. He's already had so many good ones. Heals on up, Boxy, running away. It's a very fine line of initiating, and we found it apparently. Kuman, the Abyssal Blade, he's dropping down to about a third of his life for less even. The BKB, it's not going to save him in the end. It looks like they get the RP off, or maybe it will. The Satanic heals him back up to full, and now Venomancer's dead, and so is Zero, so he buys back immediately, but Koikfa's in trouble too. Koikfa popping the BKB, Insatiable Hunger will not heal him up. He's staying dead. They pick out the Crystal Maiden. Wow, the fact that Troll even lived is amazing, let alone turning that. Yeah. He survives on the smallest amount of health and then dishes out all the damage. It's not just that he survives, that he actually contributes the amount of damage he did after being that low in health. And they were just not ready for it. Chappie, what are you doing? He's dying to Boxy on... I guess he's trying to push out mid lane, and Boxy just happened to be there with the Abyssal Blade. That was a lot of gold. 1,000 gold going Boxy's way. Yeah, that's quite a bit, actually. I've seen a lot of these big numbers pop up when it comes to picking up some kills. But still, again, big picture. Yet another... I don't know what to think of this game, man. I mean, it's just another case of a swing. This time in favor of Empire. And it continues to go back to the RP. If Magnus lands the big RP, which credit to Miposhka, he's managed some 2-3-man RPs. It feels like every fight that Empire's won. Then they are able to win these fights almost pretty easily in the end. So, but without it, again, different story, as we've seen now a couple of times too, and they are pushing without it. You got Venomancer up in a second. Brood's up at 20. Oh, Kuman. Wow, he almost died off the bat there. course, has the Aegis this time, though.
I've seen this look before from Kuman in team fights, and it's worked out pretty well, surprisingly. So
yeah,
maybe he's just trying to bait them in on top of himself, because that's when Mags will get a better RP, if you can bait out your teammates a bit more. But RP's still on cooldown for a little bit longer. This time there's a refresher shot, which means the game gets quite difficult for Alliance now when there's a refresher, because he can just use those RPs even on single targets at this point.
Let's talk about some item development here. Haven't been addressing that too much this game. Broodmother ended up going the Orchid into a full Assault Curios himself. You have Ursa, not only, of course, the Abyssal Blade, but then went an Ags after the fact on Ursa. So that's kind of an interesting one. What do you think about the Ags for Foxy?
What's he up? He's against Shackle Shot, arrows. Yeah, it makes sense. If he gets stunned, he can just ulti out of it. Same for the Magnus RP. It's very good in games where there's all these stuns and you want to just be able to enrage out of them.
Yeah.
Doesn't help when you're silenced, but you know, it's really just stuns on this Empire side that you're scared of.
4,000 net worth lead for Empire, but let's be honest, the way this game's been going, net worth lead doesn't really mean jack.
Yeah,
40 minutes in.
Really doesn't. Particularly one of that size. It was like a 15-20k maybe, but it's effectively even when you look at when you take gold into consideration.
Oh man, okay, this is something. I saw Earth Spirit building it earlier, but yeah, he hasn't completed now. 3,000 gold saved up, but an Ags on Earth Spirit.
Oh, that's a fun one too.
Yeah, that's a confident Earth Spirit player right there. Yep. That's not an item you see often on that hero, and I think it's kind of a mix of not only you got to be really comfortable with it, but obviously farm on Earth Spirit. It's not likely for a lot of games.
Yeah, hard to get there all the time. As we'll see down the top lane, Empire, they want to go. They've still got Aegis for a little bit longer. Completed Butterfly. Kuman is just so incredibly strong right now.
Yeah. Extra evasion to help out with. Nice move, speed buff, etc. Top lane, they're going in. Boxy engaging on a Kuman. Remember, he has an Aegis here. Got a half-life. Top of the battle trance. RP, it's really only on Boxy, though. Taiga in the backlines is definitely going to be going down, doing what he can to disrupt as much as possible. Koikva, he has about the BKB. Luckily for himself, he didn't get any bash procs on himself right there. He manages to limp away, but he's still not out of the wood just yet, as Chappie's in pursuit. But eventually will make his way out. Kuman, that's going to be an Aegis spent. So this looks similar to before, but no, maybe not. However, great Force Staff out and actually able to survive on Ursa. They kill Venomancer, who buys back immediately. Freezing Field from Insania on the uphill, slowing things down a bit.
They're looking for kills. They don't want to just defend. They want to find some picks.
Exactly. RP's down. It's been the MO this game for Alliance. When that's down, you engage. And, well...
Whoa, maybe they shouldn't engage alone, at least.
Maybe a little cleaner than that. Ursa jumps in, going for the kill on Chappie. Gets bashed. Does eventually get out of it quickly, though, thanks to that Enrage on the Axe. And is able to secure the kill on Chappie. However, skewed back in. Are we going to see any bash procs from Troll? It's a battle of the bashes. Yes, they will. Happen. Ursa manages... Oh, that was the Axe coming into play, actually. Keeps him alive. What a play by Taiga. Turning him into stone, pushing him away, and Ursa survives. There you go. Talk about a confident Earth Spirit player once again.
Yeah, Taiga's... Watching amazing Earth Spirits is always a pleasure. It's like back in the day where Jarex was playing at 4 position every game. It was a sight to see. It got to a point where it was like a lot of amazing Earth Spirit plays, just constantly making highlight reels, but the fact that it's a hero that has such depth and high mechanical skill involved, it is a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it's a hell of a save. We see that, again, high impact there, and maybe that's the intention, too, if anything. He just sits back. When the RP comes, he'll then use that to save one of his teammates in that situation there, so... Again, they're not able to capitalize the most. They did eventually kill Chappie, as you saw, but they lose Koik for themselves. So I still feel like Empire, overall, happy with that outcome. Double damage currently on Troll. And he has a Blink now queued up. He's in a spot where he's going to have to start swapping things around, of course. It's safe to say he is fully slotted at this point, but wants the Blink Dagger still for that utility. And being able to jump in, perhaps go for a quick kill, or as an effective follow-up to those RPs from Miposhka here. We see a lot more 25s coming in, by the way.
Yeah, that's where things get pretty fun. Potential Magnus Empower Damage and Cleave for the Troll Warlord. The RP stun duration can kind of be nice, but we saw Ursa baiting out the RP. That RP top, I don't think he'd seen the Ag Scepter on Ursa, or at least hadn't really thought about what it meant, because if you RP this Ursa, he's just going to enrage out of it now every single time. Boxy's trying to get RP'd, if anything, because that means his teammates are not caught in it.
That makes sense. Ursa, speaking of him, though, that status resistance, man. That enrage.
Yes.
Pretty strong for him right now.
Is a handy one to have.
I was hoping for the meme of the 600 Earth Shock there, but not the case.
Bye-bye Quickfoot. RP used. No refresher anymore. He has got a Perseverance, so he's ideally looking to build into one.
Let's get the Empower damage cleave as we see right there. As he gets 25. Kuman, a very aggressive BKB, just simply trying to get damage on the racks. Will eventually be pushed off though, so racks seem alive pretty healthy for the time being. But they're not leaving just yet. See TP to the middle lane. So they're doing a bit of split push now, keeping Alliance on their toes. You got the range racks going down there in the middle. You got both the racks up top, but of course plenty of damage on that melee barracks. Has already been done. Done about 500 or so live, 600 maybe at this point. But Boxy eventually going to fight his way out, kill the creeps, take a look at the buyback status. Several heroes with no, but the timer is wearing down a little bit. I suppose Earth Spirit and Venomancer still have a fair amount to go, but Ursa's will be up shortly and dying on the other side. Yep. Also has a longer buyback.
A little pause as two teams reset, deal with maybe lag spikes, and look to get things underway. Very close heated game here. Alliance at various points probably thought they had this one, but it has slipped away off of some nice RPs from Maposhka and incredibly farm troll Warlord.
Oh yeah, it's been an entertaining one though at the very least. Games of back and forth, in my opinion, definitely bring that. Kuman kills the melee racks, but he's being locked down now. Will that Satanic once again come into play? No RP used just yet, and the 4 staffs will be enough to save him. It's just the battle of these bashes again. Just Ursa and Troll just swinging at each other.
I love this CM item build. Having this cast range from the Talent and Aether Lens, he's able to Frostbite Magnus from so far away. Oh, they're going to lose Chappie mid. And that just messes with the Magnus' game. He doesn't have a BKB. If you can hit him with Novas, hit him with Frostbite, it's going to make it so much harder to get a good Blink RP off.
Yeah, you got to think that was one of the reasons why they final picked the Crystal Maiden. Again, you talk about kiting a Troll Warlord. Crystal Maiden, very effective for that between the slows and the Frostbite.
Absolutely. Sania going for the 250 attack speed talent as well. I love it. 60 freezing field. You know, it sounds like the one you normally should get. You know, like a rational support 5 position CM's like, you know, I'm going to use freezing field. That's some more damage. Am I going to right click people? Probably not. But you actually do right click insanely fast.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of worth getting the attack speed talent in a lot of games, I would say.
And Insania is honestly one of the most greedy position 5 support players I've ever seen. This goes back to his Han days. He just he farms. He loves to farm on a support hero. So it's a talent that helps with that. He's going to pick it up.
I mean, I think you can legitimately get damage items on CM here to be a ranged right clicker against Troll.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So that farm, we'll see if that comes into play. Seiyu will be fine for now. Win ranger. You see Taiga following up with a Boulder Smash by Kuman in the backlands. That's going to be named as Pruck on mid game. That BKB once again for Kuman, wearing off quickly.
They're just kiting him. No BKB for you, they say.
Bannon's just jumping in. He's just running at them with that Flesh Golem, enhancing some damage. Here comes Broodmother, going to try to assist now. Boxy gets the Matchbox on Chappie. Chappie goes down. Maposhka cut in the midst of this wall. He went for the RP. He couldn't get it off. The scythe comes out. He still has an RP to use, but he's just being locked down this whole fight. He goes back to full. I believe that was a cheesing. He's going to cancel it. Doesn't want the RP used just yet. That wouldn't have been a bad one. Kumans cannot find anything, though. Kuman's going to fall. The kite was just so strong from Alliance, and now Maposhka's dead. 2 minutes with no buyback.
Yeah, Maposhka, he's been the key guy, getting them back in this game, turning it around for them, and he just couldn't find a way to get off the RPs in that fight. The first one whiffing, the second one after the refresher just not coming out at all, and it's so difficult. This is partly why they picked heroes like Venomancer, the CM with her item build, the Broodmother, the Ursa with the Enrage. Like, they have too many answers for Magnus and the RP now that landing a good RP is just so much more difficult than it was 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it. So you did use one, as you pointed out, but has that refresher, could not get that second one off effectively.
I didn't see the first one. I just
didn't either, yeah.
I heard it. I heard the RP noise, and I look up, I'm like, wait, he's still good RP. Oh, okay, he refreshed.
That must have been the case.
I don't think he actually hit anyone. But
either way, you're seeing that kite once again for Alliance coming to play. So he still has RP. The downside is he's down for 70 seconds. at this point. So Alliance knows they have a massive opening now. And I was going to say, are they just going to try to finish? It looks like it. Don't even take any chances here. It's a Troll to Wind Ranger. And Troll without that RP for the assistance, we know that's a bit more of a struggle for him. Venomancer is not here. He's pushing out the bottom lane meanwhile, but he has bots, so he's coming in.
Yeah, defend and fight. Now, problem is Troll's just not really equipped to do that without Empower, without Magnus.
Yeah. We saw earlier they were kind of feeding one by one, so almost learning a lesson from earlier. But man, these are tier 4s going down your Ancient. I mean, this is the game at this point if you don't defend.
Kuman's just being kited off the side. They're not actually focusing him. They're ignoring him while they go for the throne. And Koikva,
look at Koikva just sitting on top of the Ancient, killing it. And GG. I mean, that game was something. I don't even know how to describe it, but
yeah, at one point Empire had like a 98, 99% chance to win it. That was obviously perhaps not the case.
Yeah.
I think that was maybe slightly exaggerated. I would never have said they had that high of a % chance to win. It maybe got up to like 70 at best at one point. But wow, some great defenses from Alliance.
Yeah, that was great defenses. They adapted to the game, I think it's safe to say, in terms of going back to the Crystal Maiden final pick, and as we're kind of having the discussion near the end there, throughout the game, we didn't necessarily see that Kai coming into play as they wanted, but as it picked up, their positioning just seemed to speak for that. The saves of Taiga started coming into play, I think, more and more as well with that whole Axe pickup from him and the farm he was able to have. And just we're able to make it happen. It wasn't the cleanest of victories, but they'll take it. So they're up 1-0 here in a best of 3. And that's what truly matters in the end. So, as usual, going to be going to a short break. But we got game number 2. That's going to be happening here for the Reshuffle Madness. So, again, guys, I'm BreakyCPK, joined by GoDz. Enjoying some good Dota here at the beginning of a great day. Best of 3 into a best of 5. Their winner will play Furzy later on today.